When it comes to influencer marketing, authenticity is the name of the game. It's the currency that builds all that trust. But what happens when that currency turns out to be counterfeit? Today, we're going to dive into this growing crisis of deception in the creator world, and more importantly, what it all means for you. So let me ask you something straight up. Think about that one influencer you really trust, the one whose recommendations you'd actually take. Are you absolutely positive they're telling you the whole truth, the full picture? It's a tough question, but it's one we all probably need to start asking a lot more often. Okay, so at the very core of this whole problem is a practice called stealth marketing, or sutama as they say in Japan. It's really the heart of the issue, an ad that's pretending it isn't an ad. It's specifically designed to look like a genuine, heartfelt recommendation when, in reality, it's just a paid promotion in disguise. And that right there brings us to the main event, the influencer trust problem. It's a huge paradox, right? An entire economy that was built on the idea of genuine connection is now facing this massive crisis where authenticity itself is just another product to be packaged and sold. So what does this actually look like when you're scrolling through your feed? Well, it can be pretty sneaky. It might be faking how you use a product. The classic, I use this every single day line. Or maybe it's exaggerating a product's effects with some clever editing. Sometimes it's just hiding the sponsorship to seem unbiased. And of course, there's the big one, just straight up buying followers and likes to look more influential than you really are. All right, to really get a grip on how this stuff impacts real people, we're going to look at 3, let's call them cautionary tales. These are real-world cases that show exactly how this deception plays out, who gets hurt in the process, and what we can all learn from it. First up, we've got case number 1, the mascara incident. This one involves a hugely popular beauty influencer, Michaela Nogueira, and a mascara review that pretty much set the internet on fire. So here's the deal. In a sponsored post for L'Oreal, Michaela showed off this new mascara with just unbelievable results. I mean, they looked incredible. But viewers immediately started getting suspicious, accusing her of secretly applying false lashes off camera to fake the effect. And even though the video was tagged L'Oreal partner, it just sparked this massive firestorm about misleading demonstrations. This whole incident tells us so much about the bigger picture. For one, it shows just how easily visual proof can be manipulated, especially in the beauty world. It also brings up a really important question. Is a simple tag like partner really clear enough? Does everyone actually understand that means this is a paid ad? Okay, moving on to case number 2, the mystery box scam. This one features YouTuber RiceGum, and it's a perfect example of how these promotions can end up costing followers real money. So, RiceGum promoted this website called Mystery Brand. It's basically this online gambling-style site where you pay to open virtual boxes for a chance at winning luxury stuff. The problem? His followers started flooding the comments, saying the site was a total scam, that they never got their prizes. To make it all worse, he then offered some gift codes as an I'm sorry, but yeah, they were already expired. So the big takeaway here is the direct financial harm to his audience. This wasn't just, a mascara that didn't live up to the hype. People actually lost money based on a promotion from someone they trusted. It's a perfect and pretty scary example of what happens when influencers push services they haven't really looked into. And for our last case, we're heading over to South Korea to talk about an influencer named Song Ji-ha, who's also known as Freesia. Now, this one is a little different. It wasn't just one product that was fake. It was her entire lifestyle. So Freesia got super famous, partly from being on a reality show, for living this incredibly glamorous life. We're talking head-to-toe designer clothes, luxury bags, the whole 9 yards. But then, people online with a sharp eye started noticing things were off. They discovered that a whole bunch of her prized luxury items were actually cheap knockoffs. And the backlash was, well, it was immediate and intense. You see, this case hits on a much deeper level of deception. Here, the influencer's whole persona, her very identity, was the product being sold. Her followers weren't just duped about a purse. They felt this profound sense of betrayal by the person they admired. It really shines a light on the insane pressure creators are under to project this perfect image of success, even if they have to fake it. So after hearing all that, you've got to be asking, why does this keep happening? Is it really just a few bad actors ruining it for everyone? Well, the truth is, it's more complicated. There are actual systemic pressures in place that kind of encourage and sometimes even reward this exact kind of behavior. Let's break that system down. First, you've got the race for numbers, where followers and likes are treated like currency. Then there's the monetization model, where income is tied directly to brand deals, which creates a massive incentive to please the sponsors, sometimes more than the audience. Add to that, you have platform algorithms that often reward sensational and exaggerated content with more eyeballs. And finally, the regulations that are supposed to keep all this in check, they simply haven't kept pace. Okay, so the system has its problems for sure, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. So let's talk about a toolkit for you, the viewer, on how to become a smarter, more critical consumer of all this content. Let's put an authentic review and a hidden ad side by side. A real review, it's probably going to mention some pros and some cons. It might even compare it to other products. A hidden ad, on the other hand, is almost always 100% positive, full of vague, hypey language, and it's pushing you to swipe up or hit that link in bio right now. But the biggest red flag of all? No clear hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored tag anywhere to be seen. So here's a quick checklist you can run through in your head. First, ask yourself, who is this person and what do they have to gain here? Is there a really clear disclosure like hashtag ad or that paid partnership label? Do the results they're showing look just a little too good to be true? And crucially, go look for other reviews from people who aren't getting paid. And probably the most important thing to remember, a high follower count does not automatically equal high trust. But look, this isn't all on us as viewers. Not at all. Building a more honest internet, that's a shared responsibility. It's going to take everyone, brands, the platforms themselves, and regulators, to step up to the plate. You can really think of it as 3 key pillars. First, the brands. They have to set clear rules and actually follow up to make sure influencers are following them. Second, the platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They need to make those disclosures mandatory and start cracking down on fake engagement. And third, you've got the regulators, like the FTC. They really need to update their rulebook for the digital age and, actually enforce it. But for all the talk about new laws and platform policies and brand guidelines, there's one tool that's honestly more powerful than any of them. And that tool is media literacy. It's our own ability to just stop and think critically about the stuff we see and watch online every single day. When you get right down to it, the entire creator economy is built on one thing: trust. And if that foundation starts to crack and crumble, the whole thing could just fall apart. The only way to rebuild it and make sure it lasts is for everyone involved to commit to being way more transparent. And that really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In this wild new economy of influence and authenticity, who is ultimately responsible for the truth? Is it the creator? The brand that's paying them? The platform that's hosting the content? Or does some of that responsibility fall back on us,